I think that you are more thoughtful. Every generation is more thoughtful than the prior one because you have the luxury of the data, right? You got to we got to watch the people who grew up in the 60s and 70s, and you got to watch the people who grew up in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And there's more options, there's more information. You guys have no idea. I lived my entire childhood up until I was 19 years old without the internet. Think about that. So in the 80s, finding a new job was looking in the classifieds in a newspaper. Recruiters couldn't email you or hit you up on LinkedIn. You have more options. And with more options comes better decisions. And more thoughtful conversations. People are becoming more thoughtful. When I was growing up, to your point, make as much money as possible so you can get a house and a car and a vacation. And now people are more minimalists, value other things, and I think it's a beautiful thing. But I think it needs to be personal. I think a lot of kids struggle with being very ambitious. There's some kids that hit me up and say like, hey, I feel out of place with my Gen Zers. I do want to work 15 hours a day. I do want to build an empire. I'm like, that's good too. I go so hard, but when I say work hard, I don't say work hard and burn out. People are making assumptions out here. They took a word I used to love called hustle, which meant work hard, like it matters. And we've manipulated it into this world of like, oh, if you do that, you're doing drugs and alcohol and have mental health issues. That's crazy. I'm the most chill, calm person on earth. I'm so content and happy. I'm chill as fuck. I sleep 7, 8, 9 hours a day. I'm calm as a cucumber. That's because I'm in my zone, and my zone is to be a fucking entrepreneur operator. For people that aren't, they shouldn't, because it's fucking anxious. You know, like if I was my admin, my incredible admins, I'd be anxious. I don't like getting everything right and making sure everything's running on time. I'd be fired in project management within a week at VaynerMedia. A week. Or maybe I would quit in 48 hours. So I think yes, no question, but I think it's because we're trying to be more self-aware. What we have to be careful of is what I'm also seeing, which is amazing, all that. The one thing to watch out for is entitlement. The one thing that I see creeping as a cousin to a lot of this thoughtfulness with a lot of youngsters is staggering levels of entitlement. Like, I should be the vice president of the company. I'm like, you've been here 3 weeks. And so the over-coddling and delusional positive reinforcement of modern parenting has confused a lot of people. And that's one thing, that's a watch out. And by the way, I hate when people are like, all Gen Z, all millennials. No, 80% of you I don't see it in, but 20% is a lot, because it used to be 1%. Like everybody in the 80s and 90s were like, I'm gonna give coffee to my boss for 5 years, then I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do that. Now kids are rolling in at 20 and being like, yo.
Has there ever been a time in your life where you felt down and out, pressure on all sides, and how did you overcome that moment?
I think my toughest times were, you know, in school, when you're 12 years old and 13 years old and every teacher you have tells you that you're gonna be a loser and a garbage man. I don't know, I feel bad. Like, I was so pissed that they would always shit on garbage men. And like, I feel like that's such a hard, like a job I respect so much, but that was the hot thing in the 80s. You're gonna be a garbage man. I was like, oh fuck. You know, I was actually kind of pumped. I'm like, oh shit, I can get stuff for free instead of the garage sales and flip it, you know? But that was hard. It was hard. I think that's why I'm unstoppable now, because at 11, 12, 13, 14, every grown-up I knew, teachers and my friends' parents, every grown-up I knew told me I was gonna be a loser, while my mother told me I wasn't, and the world told me I wasn't. I was selling lemonade, shoveling snow, selling baseball cards, flipping stuff at garage sales, and I was great at it. The market told me I was great. My mom told me I was great because I was a nice person. And here I am 46 years later, a nice gangster businessman. But it was hard. And actually, I've never said this before, it just hit me, and built a personal brand because I can deal with people shitting on me because they've been shitting on me. Of course you can't be of course people struggle putting themselves out there. They grew up as A and B students and like haven't had that emotional adversity yet.
What would you tell your 25-year-old self, knowing everything you know now?
That I would tell him, hey kid, you've got 90% of this figured out, but all the pain and discomfort and missteps that you're about to have over the next 21 years are gonna be because you aren't good at candor. That your lack of candor is going to lead to a lot of people loving you at all times because you're making everything so awesome, but you're gonna build resentment, and that's gonna manifest in personal relationship vulnerabilities. And it's definitely gonna manifest in your passion to be a businessman because you're not gonna be able to give people critical feedback. And then you're gonna surprise them when you fire them. And then instead of you being the good guy where you gave good feedback and unfortunately didn't work, but you were gracious and you still did the good severance and you were a good person and you're good, now you're gonna be a bad guy to some of these people because on Thursday you said, hey, Javi, keep crushing it. And then on Monday, you walk in and be like, Javi, this is your last day. And he's gonna be like, what the fuck? You said last Thursday, everything was rolling. My obsession for happiness and like good skewed too far, and I didn't have the balance of candor. It's why kind candor was invented. It's why it's foundational here. And let there be no confusion to everybody here. The establishment of kind candor has helped our company quite a bit over the last 2-3 years. A lot. It has really helped us. And it's really helped me personally, you know? And so that's what I would tell him, my friend.
Thank you.
Grace?
Hi, Gary. Thanks for talking to us.
Of course.
If you had to distill the role of the PCS into one function, what would it be?
Knowing everything that's going on in culture at this exact second. I'm obsessed, Grace, with the PCS. I would argue the PCS at its core is the thing that's closest to me, who I am. It's scary how much shit I know. And it's by being super wide and then being strategic when I go deep and everything in between, right? Like it's, you know, it's knowing why slime was hot with 9-year-old girls for 24 months. It's knowing why Polo G could be the next Drake, but with a little more hood. It's why knowing that why Facebook written words are working on fan page. It's like fucking just knowing. You know what I mean? Curiosity at scale, grinding at scale, not imposing your own opinions on shit at scale, which is impossible in this highly charged political climate. It's being like a neutral vessel of curiosity. And then having the talent to convert signals into hypotheses. I don't know if you guys know this. This is actually wild. I've done a very bad job branding this, which is unusual for me because I'm pretty good at personal branding. I was legitimately, no bullshit, one of the first 15 YouTube celebrities. Like in 2006, Wine Library TV, it was like Zay Frank, Rocket Boom, Lonely Girl, Ronetto. Like I knew everybody who had 10,000 subscribers. Think about what I just said to you. So because of that, I've always known that the long form ecosystem had legs, that it wasn't how long the video was, it's how good the video was. I actually got flown to Yahoo and Google because they had Yahoo Video and Google Video before Google bought YouTube. That was their product. And both those companies flew me out to probe me and ask me why people were watching 20 minutes of my videos. And my answer was literally, I have no idea. Because I could, you know, at that point I was a businessman. The thought that I had on camera charisma didn't even cross my mind. Like, it wasn't a function of like how I thought. All this notoriety and awareness and micro fame I have now is so funny to me. I didn't do anything public until I was 30, you know, like it wasn't even on the radar. It's not like you guys who grew up knowing normal people could be famous. For me, when I was 15, unlike you, I thought you had to want to be famous and go to Hollywood and wait tables and try to be on television. So here's how. It's the reason VaynerMedia is going to be the biggest agency in the world. What people don't realize is you have to make content that people want to watch. And so the whole Vayner Video 1, Bridge 1 thing that I'm pushing that we haven't really accomplished yet is going to be the whole game. Because people will watch 5-minute and 17-second videos. They're going to be consumed at scale on streaming. What do you think Netflix commercials are going to look like? They're going to be there. And my intuition is people are going to make shitty ones. And my intuition is Vayner is going to make the best ones. And people are going to actually like want to watch our shit. Like in between fucking Stranger Things, we're going to make a nostalgic fucking video for fucking Casper, and people are like, what the fuck was that? Because they're not even gonna be sure if it's a commercial part of fucking Stranger Things, or like, we're gonna confuse the shit out of them.